Hi, welcome to Dawn's Death to Life Parenting. Today I'm going to talk about letting kids solve and spend the way I'm going to say it is spend their own energy on their problems. I absolutely love this, not only for the kids, but also for me as the parent, for the world that these children are going to be a part of when they grow up. It is just proper and right and good, and it does my heart so good as a parent. And I believe it for my own life. I believe it it's just how it's supposed to be. People are supposed to solve their own problems. That's what I believe in. I believe people should have a chance to solve their own problems before somebody does it for them. And I believe that starts at age 0. And this is probably going to sound weird to a lot of people. I've been doing it for years now. My girls are 1 and 5, and I'm going to start here. I didn't kind of figure this out until my first daughter was maybe 3-ish, and I was exhausted just like every other parent. I was not doing well, just always needing a break, just surviving as a parent with my first daughter until she was about 3 when I started to figure some of these things out. But and this is also, like, a lot of my theories and ideas and things I practice are from love and logic. I've found it to be an excellent foundation. I've just built on it, and this is probably in their curriculum. I can't remember if it's exactly what I call it, but anyway, let's get to it. So when I had my second daughter, she's 0, she's a baby, and when kids are babies, it's like they have nothing to offer. They cannot solve their own problems. They cannot do anything for themselves. So this does not apply to infants. But as soon as they're old enough to realize they've done something, they've done something, and I'll give an example, then they're old enough to start solving the fact that they've done something. And where I started with my littlest is her first job was to pick up her binky if she dropped it. And she had a binky all the time, and she would drop it, and I realized I would pick it up, and I would make it my problem that my 6-month-old dropped her binky. And this is where it's like, this is weird. I don't know any other parents that were doing this, and you don't have to do this. This is just what I did, and it kind of helped her, prepare her, and it set the stage for her to, she's 1 going on 2, and she has jobs. It's like she knows what's her job, and this was her first job. Her first job was to pick up her binky when she dropped it, and this is 0% on her as the child. This is 0% on her. This is 100% on me. I could, in fact, pick it up for her every single time she dropped it. I realized part of me was like, this is kind of a lot of energy to be holding a 6-month-old, She's dropping her binky multiple times, and I'm picking it up every time. And I don't want to play this game if it becomes a game. But anyway, so I just said, she'd drop it. I'd be like, oh, Isla, time to do your binky job, or something like that. Something, light. It's totally lighthearted. It's like, I'm just letting her know, hey, you have a job to do, in kind of that gentle, maybe sing-songy voice that I like to deliver, things in. And so anyway, I started to require her, and this is where it's on me as a parent. I had to require her to pick up her binky when she dropped it. So it's like, this is not natural for somebody, a normal person to just do their job. Just do their job. When a baby comes out of the womb, it's like the first thing they learn is people take care of them, which, they should. This is the first thing they should learn. And then, I feel like it's natural order of things to, then they learn, oh, there's things that I actually do. And so I started, and this started as an experiment. It's not like I knew, like, oh, this is going to work out and this is going to be a good thing. I just realized this is using a lot of my energy as a parent. And when I realize this about things, I start to think about what I can do about it, because again, parenting requires so much energy. And when I notice something like this, alarm bells start going off. I need to do something about this. This is not sustainable. I cannot, of course I can force it, but then I'm exhausted and then I'm hating it. And there's death, like in all of this, if I ignore these things. And so, like, this is where I experimented. I just thought about, well, what if I have her do it? Let's see what happens. And yeah, she picked it up. She scooped it right up. It's like, okay. And there were a couple times where I just like had to laugh to myself when she would drop it, scoop it up, put it in her mouth. I'm like, oh man. And it's like I kind of had to stomach some like awkwardness, like, and some like a little bit of fear of like, oh, that was definitely dirty. Or and a couple of times I would, like, I'm the parent still. It's like it's my job to keep her safe too. So she drop it in the bathroom. No, I would pick it up, or I would say, Isla, can you pick it up and hand it to me, please? Like when she's old enough, so I can wash it, and then I'd wash it and give it back to her. Like it's not black and white. It's like I still am a person. I have to. It's not like a formula. Like every time this happens, always do this. It's like that's another principle of parenting. But anyway. So that was Isla's first job, and it was her job. And that's just an example of a kid solving their own problem. And so, there's a separate concept there of jobs, but I require, my girls to solve their own problems. And so the main thing I want to focus on right now in this video is, it's a simple phrase, and I use it all the time. I all the time, and I love it, and it's proper, it's right. And when Isla got older and she could start to understand this phrase, I start using this phrase instead of kind of telling her what to do. And the phrase is, what do you want to do about that? What do you want to do about that? I say it all the time to my girls, and it is absolutely one of the most sustaining things that I can possibly do for myself as a parent, and is absolutely one of the most healthy things I can do for my children. They get to learn how to solve problems, solve their own problems, and I get to sit back and enjoy what they come up with, and if it works or not. And it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I'm filming this video because there's a technique out there that I witnessed so many times. I saw it today, and it just hurts to see, and I just hate it. It's, again, my parenting is built on preparing my girls for reality, for adulthood. And if they have a problem, I would love it if they thought about how to solve it, rather than kind of trying to use a magic word, and thinking that there's going to be something very little effort that they have to do, that somebody's going to spoon feed to them and they'll solve their problems. Like, this is not reality. I would hate for anybody to be raised up like that, and yet I witness this all the time, and I do not like this. And so I'm just gonna I'm gonna share what I see, and then I'm gonna share what I do, and take it or leave it. I would love for you to try it, but this is not for everybody. What I witnessed and I saw today is this is not the greatest example, but it's like I'm struggling to think of it. Okay, it's like, Mommy, I'm thirsty. give me a drink. And it's like, what's the magic word? And it's like, please. Okay. Like, let me just say this. I do not care if my girls say please or not to me as their dad. It's like, of course I want them to be polite and kind. I could not care less the words they use. I do not care the words they use. I do care how they treat me, and if they demand something from me, I tell them, I'm very sorry, I don't get it. I don't do things for people who talk to me like that. And, that takes care of itself. But in terms of like, there is no magic word. I do not care. If a girl asks me for a drink, I don't care if she says please or uses any other words in the entire world, as long as I understand she's asking for a drink. I do not want them growing up thinking, oh, all they have to do is know this magic little word and they get what they want, no matter, almost no matter what else is going on. No, I want them to think for themselves, figure out what to do, who to ask to get what they need. Like, it's way more important to, like, in my opinion, to have somebody who solves their problems. Gosh, I guess it just makes me mad that, and I know parents are not doing this on purpose. I don't think they know any better. This is just how parents do it. They just, we look around, we all require our kids to say please, and then we walk away and everybody's happy. But no, like, I don't think that works out for kids. I don't see that working out, So anyway, if my little girl says, Daddy, I'm thirsty, I usually say something like this. Okay, okay, Ellie Jean. And I kind of take it very slowly usually, because I need the child to keep up with me. It's like, okay, Ellie Jean. I take a deep breath. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do about that? And I hit him with that question. And it's, again, I pause. I say, well, I know that I could solve that so easily. I'm an adult. Like, and here's the thing. Here's a side principle. I'm going to take a side route for a second here. This requires patience. If you're going to do this, you have to be patient, because children solving their own problems, it usually takes 5 or 10 times longer than an adult solving a child's problem. For example, a child wants to take a lid off a ranch bottle. That happened tonight. Well, it's going to take them 3 minutes. It could have taken me 4 seconds. And am I really going to let something take 3 minutes that could take 4 seconds? Well, I have to be willing to do that so that the child can solve their own problem. It's like, I run into this all the time where I realize I have to be ridiculously patient right now. Like hilariously patient, because I'm allowing this child, another example, Isla filling up her water cup at, the restaurant today. She puts her cup down, she presses the button, she misses the cup. She goes back down, she moves the cup over. I know it's wrong. It's not in the right place. She's not going to fill it up. What do? I let her do it anyway. She presses the button. It misses the cup. Then she goes down, she fumbles with the cup. I'm holding her up with my left hand this whole time. Now here's the I realize, am I really going to sit here for like 5 minutes while my 1-year-old fills up her water? I'm like, well, the answer is yes and no. The answer is yes, unless like I'm uncomfortable or I'm out of energy. Then I have to say, Isla, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna have to do this for you. I waited as long as I can, and then I say, I'm gonna have to take the cup from you and fill it up. I'm very sorry. And sometimes she's upset, sometimes she's not. But I realize as a parent, I've hit my limit. It was great that I held her there for 3 minutes so she could try to fill up her water, and so that's an example of, she wants her water filled. That's her problem. Within reason. If there's, of course, hear me on this. It is absolutely age appropriate. Like, it's not my, 1-year-old's problem that she needs to put on her shoes. Like, she is physically incapable of putting on her zip up Vans right now. So I do that willingly, and I don't even say a word about it, but when I see an opportunity for her to do something that she might be able to do, and I love, testing her too, like seeing if she can do a certain thing. It's so much fun. It's like, Isla, or, I let her try. And again, that requires patience out of me, but it's like, it's such a joy. And this is where life comes in. It's such a joy and a proper thing. I love it when she fills up her water and I walk back to the table and I'm thinking like, man, Isla she's one and she just filled up her own water cup. She knows how to do it. That is incredible. And it's good. She has a skill. She has a new skill that she didn't have before, and she knows how to do it. She remembers, and she can do it. Man, I love this kind of stuff. And so back to kind of this general approach. It's like, Daddy, I need more water. It's like, okay. Or Daddy, I need a refill. This is Ellie Jean, because Isla can't talk like this yet. It's like, okay, Ellie Jean, well, what do you want to do about that? And let me tell you, most of the time, this is the best thing ever. I just kind of relax into that question. I do not, sometimes, I can't, no, I don't know if this is most of the time or not, but sometimes I do not give it one, I love this. I don't give it one thought. I don't not even use one brain cell on her problem at the beginning. And as a parent, that is such a beautiful feeling. It's just like, it's so proper, it's so right. Let the child figure out, because the child's coming to me with a problem, let the child try to figure out the problem. Like, this is the best thing ever. I don't have to lift a finger if I don't need to. So, Ellie Jean's so smart. She's 5. She can usually figure out so many things. Like, back to the refills, I'm just making this up because she knows how to do this, but Daddy, I need a refill. It's like, okay, Ellie Jean, well, what do you want to do about that? And I give a little bit of understanding and empathy depending on how, severe the problem is, but, that's a nothing problem. So it's like, I don't have to waste any, extra time or energy trying to understand or empathize or anything. And so it's like, I throw it back to her. She's like, oh, well, Daddy, sometimes she's like, Daddy, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Or I'll cover that in a second, because that's a very common response. But, a lot of times she's like, well, I think I'll go get a refill. And she'll go get a refill. It's like, yes. Like, I used no energy on that thing. And I'm getting to watch it, and then I watch her do it. I just make sure, if I have any kind of curiosities, can she do it? Can she go there by herself? Can she make it back? Is she going to spill? Am I worried about anything she's doing? I handle all that in the background while she does her job, and she knows nothing about this. And she just does her job, comes back, give her a high five. Nice job, Ellie Jean. Like, that is a nice job. So then, what to do if the child says, I don't know, Daddy, I don't know what to do. Well, I've got at first, this is harder, and all this is harder if you're trying it for the first time, and you have to stick with it until you decide it's not going to work, or it's going to work. But at the beginning, this was harder, but now we're at a point, at least a season, where Ellie Jean, if she's like, I don't know what to do, then I'll ask her another question. I'll say, Ellie Jean, would you like to know? I'll just ask her, Ellie Jean, do you want to know what I think? And I always make sure, like, unless I'm stumbling, like, I always make sure and ask permission to share an idea. This is also very, very important. I ask permission to share an idea, and I am 100% fine if she says no. Then she can struggle with her idea if she wants to. That is totally fine, and that's absolutely necessary sometimes. I do not mind, a child struggling with a problem. There's a limit. Yes, I watch carefully with this, and if I need to step in, I will. But I do not mind, under my eye, my watch, a child can struggle with a problem until they come up with an idea to try. Now, but most of the time right now, I'll just directly ask her, do you want to know what I think? If you're trying this the first time, probably not going to work. If it works, great. That's the easiest possible way I know to do this. But the next thing that I started with is like this. Ellie Jean, do you want to know what some little girls do? And this is what I'm doing with Isla to kind of get it, to kind of like dip my toe in the water with this. And I've tried this. She said no pretty much every single time I've asked her so far. It's been about maybe 19 out of 20 times I've asked Isla, who's one, Isla, would you like to know what some little girls do? No. It's like, okay. I don't, and then it's like, I'll ask her again in like 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute, but it's like, okay, well, gosh, I want to tell her what to do, but I don't if she says no, unless I stumble, you know? But anyway, with Ellie Jean, it's like, Ellie Jean, do you want to know what I think? Yeah, Daddy. And I'll be like, okay. And I even do this. I give her my best idea, but I only give her ideas that I think are going to work. That's where I'm at with her. But again, where I started was I would give her a throwaway idea first because I knew she was not going to like my first idea. So this is a good technique. Give a throwaway idea first. The one you know is a bad idea, that because they're going to say no. So don't even spend time thinking about it unless it's kind of for your own benefit, just to know they're going to say no to it. And then it can be kind of fun. But then give them, you know, 1 or 2 options that you think might work. And if they say no, 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 if they say no to like my best idea or my 3 ideas, as a parent, you know, I'm invested, and I'm also, it's not my problem. So then I kind of let them struggle. It's like, okay, I ain't gonna think any harder than that. I just thought of like a really good idea, or even 3 ideas, even if one's a throwaway. Like, I just put in a lot of effort to help this person, and this person is not accepting these ideas, not even willing to try. It's like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to politely step out, and I'm very sorry. I don't have any more ideas for you. Let me know, you know, let me know if something changes. I don't know. I'll say something like that. Or let me know if you want other help. So, you know, in all of this, like, you know, it takes patience. It takes creativity. It takes, you know, but it's so beautiful because, you know, like 9 times out of 10, there's just, I have no issues, and I do not spend any extra energy on problems that are my children's problems. They're their problems. And as they get older, they get greater problems. Like, you know, when my 1-year-old spills her water, I can't really expect her to, you know, clean it up perfectly. I do expect her to kind of use some napkins to soak some of it up. Like, that's her job. It's like, or, you know, I don't ask her, what do you want to do about that? Because I know it's like, I gotta figure out how to get this cleaned up as the parent. You know, it's a bummer. It's like, I'm gonna have to use some of my energy on this. And sometimes things are just like that. It's like unavoidable that I use my energy to, you know, fix something that my children have done. But I always have the option to do something about it. And I always have the option to kind of require them to repay my energy. And that's going to be another video, is just these kind of energy drain situations where the child causes the parent's energy to be drained. And, you know, and also in all this, it requires me to be attentive to my own self. It's like, that's how I live my life. That's how I do my parenting. It's not just in the parenting sphere that I check in and just see if I'm willing to do things, or if I'm running out of energy, or if it's sustainable or not. It's like, you know, these are ways to live a life, and these are not just ways to parent, but they apply really well in parenting. And you know, I can teach some of these things, or I mean, suggest. It's like, if anybody wants to learn, I'm happy to teach. At the end of the day, it's your experiment to try any of these things and see if they work or if they don't work, and then make a decision accordingly, you know, as the parent. It's like, that's what I do. That's what I do all the time. I try something, it works or it doesn't. And then if it doesn't work, I'm going to keep trying other things. If it does work, great. Like, sometimes things work. That's awesome. And then sometimes they stop working, and then it takes me a little while to realize that. And then it takes me a little while to figure out something new to do, but I'm like, that's just life. Anyway, I hope this was helpful on situations where, you know, children are needing something. They have a problem. I could probably make a whole nother video on the nuances and more situations and stories. Let me know with a comment if you have any thoughts, questions, situations, and would love to help if I can. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.